I could today.
She may have lost out on this task, but Lisa's cooking pedigree stretches all the way back to 1950s Hong Kong. Her grandma Lily Kwok set off from here with thousands of others to build a new life in post-war Britain. She's thought to be one of the first women in the UK to set up a Chinese restaurant in Middleton, Greater Manchester.
So is this where your grandmother's original restaurant was?
Yes, it was. But it's now been demolished.
Wow.
But the Warwick Mill's still here.
So that would have been overlooking your grandmother as she built up her business?
Yes.
Lily's original terrace restaurant has been long lost. But the area's traditional red brick industrial heritage still looms large.
It was very similar to something, you know, like this kind of house.
Do you think they will have ever seen a Chinese person?
No, she was the only Chinese person, I think, in the whole village. And it was such a culture shock. And in those days, there'd be loads of people standing and sitting on the street corners, children playing around, and they'd be watching her every move. And they'd be like, oh, God, there's that Japanese lady. She's going to poison us.
Oh, my God. It's hard to imagine what it must have been like leaving somewhere like Hong Kong with all the familiar sights and smells and sounds to come and set up a new life somewhere like this. It must have been such a culture shock.
Lily left Hong Kong on a ship bound for Britain in 1953. It was a 10,000-mile journey.
How long was the trip from Hong Kong to the UK?
35 days.
35 days.
It was the P&O SS Canton that she took. This is my grandmother on the ship. She did benefit from the journey because it stopped off in India and she learnt about the spices in India. It travelled to Singapore and she picked up the laksa curry recipe there and learnt about coconut being infused into a curry. So by the time she'd got to the UK, she'd created her very own Lily Kwok's chicken curry.
So that's where she learnt that recipe,
yeah.
on the ship?
On the ship.
To England?
Yeah.
Lily opened her first restaurant in 1959 to a hostile reception.
But initially, everybody boycotted the restaurant.
So how did she overcome the problem?
She actually hired a lady called Mavis, who knew the whole town. So my grandmother, being quite entrepreneurial, she thought, I'm going to hire Mavis, win her over and then win the town over. And one of the dishes that people really raved about was her curry.
The Lung Fung Cafe grew in popularity, partly because Lily opened all hours, catering to the post-pub crowd in the 1960s. I've tracked down original customers Brian, John and Danny to find out why it was such a hit.
We were in bands at the time, and we'd get back midnight, 12:30, something like that. We'd go to Lily's.
Do you remember what you had the first time you tasted it?
Chips and curry. That was really...
That's very authentically Chinese.
That was really exotic, that, for me, believe you me.
Really?
Curry, oh.
It made a hell of a difference to chips.
It was just something different, like everything was in the 60s. We were breaking free. We finally had a bit of money to spend on what clothes we wanted to wear, what music we wanted to listen to, and what food we wanted to eat.